Hello friends, in today's video lecture we are going to discuss about the topic vertebral column of the aves. Okay, in last video we discussed about vertebral column of the reptiles. Okay, so in case of vertebral column of the aves, the vertebral column of aves lies in the mid dorsal line of the neck, trunk and tail. Okay, so in case of aves, in case of birds, the vertebral column lies in the mid dorsal line of the neck, trunk and tail. Okay, and the vertebral column of this aves consists of at least from starting from 44 to 47 vertebrae present in the vertebral column. Okay, so number of bones present in the vertebral column is 44 to 47 and it is divided into 4 regions. The whole vertebral column of the aves is divided into 4 regions. So first region is that, first one is the cervical vertebrae, right? And second one is the thoracic vertebrae, right? And third one is the sacral vertebrae, and last fourth one is the caudal vertebrae. Okay, so these 4 are the regions of the vertebral column. Okay, cervical vertebrae, as the name indicating, cervical means neck region, right? Cervical means neck region. So the vertebrae present in the neck region is nothing but the cervical vertebrae. So it contains 16 vertebrae in their column. And second one is the thoracic vertebrae, right? So it contains 5 vertebrae in their column. And third one is the sacral vertebrae, which contains 14 to 15 vertebrae in their column. And last one is the caudal means tail region, right? So at the tail region of the vertebral column, it contains 4 to 5 vertebrae in the last column. Okay, so this is the 4 regions of the vertebral column. So first we will go with the cervical vertebrae. Here it is, cervical vertebrae. So cervical vertebrae is starting from, it start from 3 to 10 are called as the cervical vertebrae. In case of vertebral column, the vertebral column starts from 3 to 10. Those vertebrae are called as the typical cervicals, right? So first one is the typical cervical vertebra. So this is the structure of the typical cervical vertebra. So first point is that it is elongated, right? As we can see diagrammatically, it is elongated anterior-posteriorly, right? So it is elongated anterior-posteriorly. It encloses a wide tubular cavity. That cavity is nothing but the neural arch. So first point is that it is anterior-posteriorly elongated and also contains a wide tubular cavity called as the neural arch. Okay. And the floor of the neural arch, okay, this is the neural arch, the floor of the neural arch, floor of the neural arch is thick called as centrum. Okay, so the floor of the neural arch is very thick, so that thickness is nothing but the called as the centrum. The centrum has articular surfaces. Anterior articular surface is convex. Okay, the centrum has the articular surfaces. So in case of articular surfaces, the anterior articular surface is concave from above downwards and convex from above downwards and concave from side to side. Okay, so if you see the centrum has the articular surfaces, right? So there are 2 articular surfaces. One is anterior articular surfaces. So anterior articular surface is convex in structure and it forms from above the downwards and concave from side to side. Okay, and next one is the posterior articular surface. Here in this case we discuss anterior articular surface, and this point we are going to discuss the posterior articular surface. So the posterior articular surface is concave dorsoventrally. Dorsally and ventrally it is concave in structure and convex laterally. Okay. So in case of posterior articular surfaces, it is dorsoventrally concave and convex laterally. Such type of centrum is called as heterocoelous. Right. So that kind of centrum is called as the heterocoelous. The sides and roof of the neural canal. So this is the neural canal, right? So this is the neural. So sides of the neural canal sides of the neural canal is thinner and slender than centrum. If you see the sides of the neural canal, they are somewhat thinner and slender than the centrum and consist of the neural arch. So this will be neural arch. So they contain the neural arch and consist of the neural arch. It bears a very slight mid-dorsal projection. Okay, it has the very slight mid-dorsal projection called as the neural spine. So neural arch have a slight mid-ventral arch, that is nothing but the neural spine. This is the neural spine. Okay, last point is that there are small outwardly directed projections. Okay, there are some projections which outwardly directed on the sides of the anterior part of the centrum. Okay, so at the sides of the anterior parts of this centrum, there are some outward directed structure. So those outward directed structure are nothing but the transfer processes. So these are the transfer processes. This one and this one. Okay, so these are the outwardly directed structures of the centrum called as the transfer processes. And apart from transfer process, it also contains pre-zygapophysis and post-zygapophysis. So this is the post-zygapophysis and this is the pre-zygapophysis. Okay, so this is the typical cervical vertebra. Next one is the first cervical vertebra. Okay, so in case of first cervical vertebra, this first cervical vertebra is called as atlas. Okay, so first cervical vertebra is called as the atlas. It is very small and ring-like bone. Okay, this bone is comparatively small or very small and it looks like ring and it is a ring-like bone. The centrum is reduced. The centrum in this case of the vertebra, it is reduced. Okay, the neural spine is rudimentary and post-zygapophysis are very small. Post-zygapophysis are present but they are very small and pre-zygapophysis are completely absent. Okay, so this is the structure of the atlas bone, right? So the centrum is reduced. Okay, the centrum is small and this bone is look like ring, a ring-like structure, right? And post-zygapophysis are very small and pre-zygapophysis are completely absent. Okay, this is the orontide canal and this is the spinal canal from which the spinal cord will be moves on. Okay, and next one is the second cervical vertebra. In case of second cervical vertebra, this second cervical vertebra is called as the axis. First cervical vertebra is called as the atlas and second cervical vertebra is called as the axis. It is smallest of all the cervical vertebra except atlas. Okay, except atlas vertebra. The next one is the axis is the vertebra which is very smallest among the all vertebral column. Okay, the centrum bears. Okay, it is also have the centrum. The centrum bears at the anterior end a forwardly directed orontide process. Okay, so centrum of this bone contains. Okay, this is the centrum. The centrum of this bone contains the anteriorly forwardly directed and at the anterior region a forwardly directed section or a region is present, this one. So this one is called as the orontide process. So that is called as the orontide process. The centrum bears at the anterior end, this is the anterior end of the centrum, a forwardly directed orontide process. So this is the forwardly directed orontide process which fits into orontide canal of the first cervical vertebra. So this will fix into the orontide canal of the first cervical vertebra. And next point is that the neural spine. So this also contains the neural spine here. So neural spine is blunt. Okay, it is not sharp. Both pre-zygapophysis and post-zygapophysis are present. So in this case, both pre as well as post-zygapophysis are present. So this is this one region it is the pre-zygapophysis and this one region it is the post-zygapophysis, right? The second one region of the vertebral column is the thoracic vertebra. Thoracic means chest region, right? So the vertebra which is present at the chest region is nothing but the thoracic vertebra. Okay, so posterior cervicals, they have the hypophysis. So this thoracic vertebra have the a portion or region called as the hypophysis, and there are bears ribs that are double headed. Means the thoracic vertebra have a region called as the hypophysis which bears the ribs. Those hypophysis bears the ribs. The ribs are double headed structure. Okay, and the first three thoracic vertebra are fused. So in case of thoracic vertebra, some vertebra are they can fuse together. So the first three thoracic vertebra are fused. Okay. The transfer process forms a pair of horizontal bony plates. Okay. So in case of this fused form of the thoracic vertebra, they have the transfer process. So even transfer process also a transfer process forms a pair of horizontal bony plates. So in case of there, the transfer process will forms a pair of horizontal bony plates. Their neural spines forms continuous mid-dorsal ridge. Okay, so if you see their structure, their neural arch, the neural spines forms continuous mid-dorsal ridge. So this is the neural arch, right? So neural arch and neural spine region, they will fuse together to form a continuous mid-dorsal ridge, because in this case the first three thoracic vertebrae they can fuse together. And second point is that capitular facet on the centrum for the capitula of the ribs, and tubercular facets on the transfer process for the tuberula of the ribs. So here what happens, the centrum of this vertebra forms from facets. Facets are nothing but the regions where some other bones are going to be articulated. So capitular facets on the centrum for capitula of the ribs. So this is the centrum, right? So this is the facet for the capitular ribs. Means the centrum have the portions where the facets where the ribs will be going to articulate. Okay, and tubercular facets on the transfer process, even transfer process also. This is the transfer process. So these are the fused transfer process. Even fused transfer process or transfer process also possess, they have the facets for the tubercula of the ribs. Okay. And next point is that the fourth thoracic vertebra, right? The fourth thoracic vertebra is free. In case of cervical vertebra, first three are fused together and fourth one is set free. And fifth thoracic vertebra is again fused with synsacrum, and it has transfer process which fuse with the ilia of the pelvic girdle. So in case of thoracic vertebra, the fourth thoracic vertebra is free. It is free, but the fifth thoracic vertebra is again fused with a synsacrum, right? So it has, this fifth vertebra also have the transfer process. This transfer process helps in or fused with the ilia bone or ilia of the pelvic girdle. Okay. And third one is the sacral vertebra. Okay, in case of sacral vertebra, all sacral vertebra are fused. Same again in this case also, all sacral vertebra are fused to form a rigid girdle. Okay, a rigid girdle. The synsacrum gives attachment to large pelvic girdle. So synsacrum of this vertebra will gives attachment for the large pelvic girdle. And synsacrum of this vertebra will show mainly three regions. So one is anterior, middle and posterior. These are the three regions shown by the synsacrum of the sacral vertebra. So first one is the anterior region of the synsacrum. So anterior region of the synsacrum consists of three vertebrae, right? And these are fused again. This anterior region of the synsacrum, which contains three vertebrae, even these three vertebrae also fused in form, and they have the stout transfer process. Those vertebrae have the very stout transfer process. And second one is the middle region. So in case of middle region, it consists of 4 to 5 vertebrae, and these are relatively short. Means as compared to the anterior region, the middle region of the vertebra has 4 to 5 number, and they are relatively small. They are very small, but have broad center. They are the relatively small vertebrae, but they have the relatively or broad center. They have fused together. Again, these 4 to 5 vertebrae are fused together. Their transfer process forms a horizontal bony plates. Okay, the transfer process of these middle region or these 4 to 5 vertebrae will form the bony plates, which is horizontally forms the bony plates. And third one is the posterior region, last region. Okay, so posterior region consists of 7 vertebrae. So the transfer process of all these vertebrae except the last are double. Means the transfer process of these 7 vertebrae except the last one, except last one means 7th one, except 7th one, they have the last one is double transfer processes, right? So if they consist of 7 vertebrae, the transfer process of all these vertebrae, except the last one means 7th one, or double means except the last one, remaining all the 6 vertebrae have the double transfer processes, right? And last region of the vertebral column is the caudal vertebrae. Caudal means tail region, right? So this is the last region of the vertebral column of the apes. So in this region, it consists of 4 to 5 vertebrae, right? So the caudal vertebrae consists of 4 to 5 vertebrae. They also contain neural spines like other vertebrae. They also have the neural spines. The last caudal vertebrae is pygostyle. The last caudal vertebrae, that is the fourth or fifth caudal vertebrae, is called as the pygostyle, and this pygostyle is formed by the fusion of 5 or 6 vertebrae. So 5th or 6th vertebrae, they are fused together to form a pygostyle, which is the last caudal vertebrae. And this pygostyle will help in the supporting the tail feathers. Okay, so this pygostyle, what it will do, it will use the support to the tails of the feathers, right? So this regards the vertebral column of the apes, which are divided into 4 regions, right? So this is all about the explanation about the vertebral column of the apes. I hope this video is helpful for you. Thank you.